In social work, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the principles we're talking about, I mean, not necessarily the words, right, but the principles themselves are central to what we do, whether we're, social work practitioners, whether we're social work researchers, whether we're doing evaluation, work with our community partners. At the end of the day, those principles are central to the work that we do. They're central to everything from the curriculum that we implement to our approach to problem solving. I mean, they are central.
With the recent Board of Regents motion, they're steering away from things I think that are extremely valuable to the culture of the University of Alaska Anchorage. I think the role of educating UAA students is that we want to provide of course, up-to-date curriculum, history and English, and things, of course, that are very reflective of our contemporary society. So diversity and equity inclusion is very much a part of our very contemporary society.
Faculty here at the university aim to create a campus culture where all students feel welcomed, respected, and valued. So, I mean, we think about this, students are, in a way right now, also living in an uncertain time where they're affected just by the same factors that we are as faculty. And, we should be there to support them as they work with us and as they pursue their educational goals and journeys. So we want to really highlight that not only do we welcome and do we provide access and resources to those students, but we also want to highlight that, when students come to our campus, they can find networks and communities that would help them and help them succeed, do well in class, whatever it might be, right? So the censoring of those words and has bigger implications just what we put in a student handbook or on our website, right? When the Board of Regents passed their motion, it included the phrase other associated terms, right? I'm not quite sure what this means exactly. And I think that's one of the things that causes a little bit of anxiety among faculty is just, okay, what does associated terms mean? Does this mean anything, right? Or is this a kind of placeholder for any term that might come down the pipeline, as a result of another executive order? Not only does it kind of add to this feeling of anxiety and what's next that we just talked about, but it also, I do think it opens up kind of the floor for future terminology to be banned or censored.
I think many students, faculty, and staff at UAA felt that the Board of Regents, first of all, acted too quickly, too preemptively, because clearly the dictates coming from the national level are now in the courts, and they might not be able to be enforced, so there's some legal questions, huge legal questions.
The Board of Regents, understandably is in a challenging situation, particularly with the threat of funding that's happening at the federal level. And it does raise the question, while the Board of Regents hasn't done this yet, considering other activity on campuses across the country, where is that line? At what point will there be another question of something that might infringe upon academic freedom for faculty?
They should have taken the time to say, maybe we should conduct some focus groups. Maybe we should take some time to review what does diversity, equity, and inclusion mean at our respective campuses. They don't even know. They don't, of course, know our curriculum. They're at the 50,000-foot level. But I think it would have been helpful if they had created a working group, maybe working groups at the 3 universities that begin to examine what does this mean at the respective institute? How do students feel about this? How do faculty feel about it? How do staff feel about it? It was basically a decision that was made very quickly over lunch behind closed doors. And I think that was very shocking to many of us because there was no public input, there was no input from faculty, staff, or students.